Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Metro Board of Directors Fiscal Year 2022 public hearing. I'm Metro Board Member Paul Smedberg, and I represent the Commonwealth of Virginia. Also joining me today is Thomas Bolger, who represents the District of Columbia on the board. Welcome to the first of our 4 virtual public hearings on Metro's proposed fiscal year 2022 budget. This hearing is convened by the Metro Board of Directors to gather public comments on 2 dockets. First, docket B21-01 on Metro's proposed fiscal year 2022 through 2027 capital improvement program and strategic plan. And second, docket B21-02 on Metro's proposed fiscal year 2022 operating budget and related service and fare proposals and changes to parking rates at some of Prince George's County stations. Notice of this hearing was made by publication in the Washington Post, and ads were placed in the Afro, Aref, Die Noi, El Tiempo Latino, the Epoch Times, the Iran Times, the Korean Times, the Washington Hispanic, as well as through social media and radio. And signs were placed in all Metro rail stations, on buses, Metro access vehicles, and Metro bus information centers, and over 300 bus stops. Since we're doing this hearing virtually, the hearing is going to look and feel a little different than it has in the past with the in-person hearings. We would normally have a presentation from our Chief Financial Officer, but in order to get right to your comments and testimony, we have instead posted a video at wamata.com/budget. Again, wamata.com/budget. that provides an overview of this year's proposed budget. In short, Metro will be able to maintain operations and increase service to meet demand through December 2021. But without additional federal funding, we project that we will need to significantly reduce service beginning in January 2022 to close a $210 million budget gap. Details about the proposed service reductions can be found again at the WMATA website at wamata.com/budget. Those of you wishing to provide testimony should call 512-580-8850. 512-580-8850. After calling in, you will need to enter a 4-digit meeting code. This morning's meeting code is 9476. Again, the code for the meeting, once you call into the number, is 9476. Once you're in the meeting, you will be able to listen over the phone by pressing *1. If you would like to provide testimony, you can press *3 and you will be put in the speaker's queue. You'll be able to message, you will get a message when it's your turn to speak. Again, to enter and just listen in, it's *1. And if you would like to provide testimony or comments, press *3. If you're watching the live hearing on a different device, please make sure you mute the device so that there is not any feedback. You will be able to listen to the hearing while you wait in the phone queue. If you would like to provide oral testimony, but were unable to wait until you come up in the queue, you can press *2 to leave a voicemail. Your voicemail will be transmitted or transcribed and included in the budget hearing record. In order for the public record to accurately reflect who's providing testimony, I ask that you please state your name and any organization you represent before beginning your testimony. Elected public officials will be allowed 5 minutes, and everyone else will be allowed 3 minutes each. Extra time will be given for translation if needed. We ask that you stay within your 3-minute limit because we want to make sure everyone who wants to speak has a chance to do so. I also want to note that each speaker is only able to speak once at each hearing. While you may have the option to rejoin the speaker's queue, please note that we cannot accept additional testimony at this hearing. I want to take a moment to recognize that this is where we listen to you. The board is very much interested in hearing your comments. This is your opportunity to comment on the proposals, and we are here to listen. We will not be able to answer questions during your testimony. Before you begin your remarks, again, we ask that you please state your name and any organization you represent. Please note that all statements, including any personal information, such as name, email address, or phone number you provide in a statement, are releasable to the public upon request and may be posted on WMATA's website without change, including any personal information provided. Further testimony may be submitted and must be received by 5 p.m. on Tuesday, March 16th. Again, we must receive your testimony if you submit it in writing by 5 p.m. on Tuesday, March 16th. Testimony can be provided online, again, at the wmata.com/budget. Online, you have the option to complete a survey, write free-form comments, upload a letter, petition, or other documents. You can also mail testimony to the Office of the Secretary, WMATA, 600 5th Street Northwest, Washington, D.C., 20001. Again, Office of the Secretary, WMATA, 600 5th Street Northwest, Washington, D.C., 20001. Again, all testimony must be received by 5 p.m. on March 16th. Due to the pandemic and the slowdown in mail service, we encourage everyone to submit comments online, if possible, of course. Your comments will become part of the public record and will be reviewed by the Metro Board of Directors. Changes to the options presented here today may be proposed in response to testimony received and subsequent staff analysis. And now it's time to take our first call. Our first call is caller 8151. Welcome. The caller ending last 4 digits of your phone, 8151. Okay, we can come back to that, please, Eleanor. Okay, our next caller in the queue. Our next caller in the queue, last 4 digits, 2403. Welcome.
Good morning. Thank you,
Good morning.
Mr. Chair, thank you, Mr. Chair and members of the board. I am Scott Pedowitz, the Government Affairs Director at the Arlington Chamber of Commerce. The Chamber encourages WMATA not to follow through with the proposed service reductions starting in January of 2022. The pace of vaccination continues to increase, and we anticipate similar increases in returning to the workplace. According to a survey by the Greater Washington Partnership, 3/4 of the workforce expect to be back in the workplace by year end. Sharply reducing transit service to levels seen after last year's initial shutdown risks curtailing this recovery just as it gains momentum. Moreover, the proposed cuts will fall most heavily on those who can least absorb them. Many in our service workforce have jobs that run past 9 in the evening, rely on buses for all or part of their commute, or both. Closing Metro Rail at 9 o'clock p.m. and halving Metro bus service will burden these riders disproportionately and inequitably. We appreciate the financial challenges facing WMATA, but cutting off transit services to balance the budget could cut off the very recovery that will restore WMATA's revenues to a healthy level. We thus encourage the board to reconsider this proposal. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Pedovitz. Okay, let's go back. Is caller 8151? Are you with us? Okay, Eleanor, the next caller in the queue. Yeah, our next speaker is 9519.
Hello.
Hello.
Yes, my name is Gloria Myers, and I live at 6 in Edgewood, a huge apartment complex. And reducing the service of the D as in David 8 bus line is really detrimental to a lot of people that's here. That's the Washington Hospital Center bus that takes most of the seniors straight to the hospital and also takes us to Union Station and various shopping areas. Taking that bus line away really would hinder transportation for the elderly. I'm hoping that you can keep the bus line, the D8, like D and David, continue to run along Edgewood corridor from Edgewood to Washington Hospital Center or to Union Station. Thank you so much for hearing me.
Thank you, Ms. Myers. Appreciate that. All right, we'll try caller 8151 again. Are you with us?
Yes, sir. My name is William. I live in Fairfax County, and my comment is somewhat general.
William, what's your last name?
Zloth, Z-L-O-T-H.
Okay.
And I live at the Dunlorry Metro, and I've taken Metro a lot since I moved here within the last 10 years. And one thing I'm disappointed that the Metro Board doesn't seem to really take large steps to get rid of the waste and everything with Metro. I think if they did that, they wouldn't need to have many cutbacks. Let me give it a good example. Over the past number of years, I see frequent cheating, people not paying their fares at every station. Some stations, I go to the station, people just walking through the gate like they do it routinely. I mentioned this to the station people, and one suggestion I would have to deal with that and to get more revenue is to have the Metro Police more prevalent at the stations. I see Metro Police driving around in big, expensive SUVs all over where I live, and I don't understand why they're driving around in those big vehicles that cost Metro a lot. Instead, if they were at the stations, they could cut back more on the fare evasion. And I've also heard from people who work in Metro, this is just hearsay, that many of the people who work there sleep on the job, this and that, and they don't do their job. I will say the bus drivers and the operators do a really good job. So they do really good, but a lot of other people, there's a lot of waste. And in addition to the fare evasion, my station, Dunlorry, was closed all summer. And during the summer, every 10 minutes, there was a gigantic tour bus with 1 or 2 people on it, probably 200 seats, every 10 minutes driving up and back from Dunlorry. It was a complete waste of money. So my general, just to sum up what I'm stating, I think if Metro had dealt more with these issues, they would not be in such a financial crisis. So that's pretty much it.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Sloth. Eleanor, our next caller. Is there anyone else in the queue? Okay, caller 7447. Welcome. Okay, that person appeared to drop. Eleanor, the next caller in the queue. Okay, our next caller is 4201. Caller 4201, welcome.
Hello, I don't understand why you want to cut back so much service on the red line.
Excuse me,
And
sir, if we could, sorry, we didn't hear your name, please, for the record.
My name is Jerry Garson. I'm speaking on behalf of the red line. I do not quite understand why you're trying to have a 30-minute headway on everything basically north of Medical Center and north of Silver Spring. You have a significant number of parking lots, such as at White Flint, at Rockville, at Shady Grove, and at Twinbrook. And if you're going to have the trains run only every half hour at these locations, it makes no sense. It also makes no sense why you're trying to only have the trains turn around at Grosvenor, Strathmore, but yet you can't even get on and off the train. In the past, before COVID-19, a huge number of people used to park at Grosvenor, Strathmore when you did the turnarounds and basically fill up the parking lot that on many days you could not even get a parking spot. If you're looking to get rid of almost all revenue from all your parking lots, this makes sense, and sounds like you're trying to basically get rid of the entire transit system and bus system from all these changes that you're proposing. 30-minute headways are not really mass transit. They're just an occasional transit. They're more like the MARC rail system, and I hope you don't consider making all these drastic changes. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Garson. We'll try caller 7447. Are you with us? Okay. Eleanor, our next call.
Okay. Hello. Can you hear me? Yes. Good. My name is Steve Caffin, and I've been a DC resident for about 18 years. I'm a member of the Accessibility Advisory Committee and the Bus Rail Subcommittee of WMATA, and also served on the Bus Transformation Project. However, the comments are my own, and I'm going to summarize what I have, and then I'll submit written comments, by the end of the week. My comments envision funding to support the restoration of service. However, the first two comments can be implemented now without any additional funding. And the first one is to restore bus number 42, which runs along Connecticut Avenue, to its normal frequency. This was substantially reduced in August by about 50%, and riders are now waiting up to 30 minutes for the bus at DuPont Circle. This is an area that probably has the largest concentration of seniors and, of course, embassy employees who use the bus, and persons with disabilities that use the elevator, which is right next to the bus stop at DuPont Circle North. It's also the major connection point for people transferring from bus to rail, and as commutation increases, it's going to be increasingly important that the 42 has adequate service. The second is to restore weekend service on bus G2. This was cut in August. Bus G2 down P Street serves the Jewish Community Center, several of the churches there, Scientology, and the Carnegie Institution, and these will be opening soon. And that bus line has a busy weekend contingent of people using those facilities, and it should be increased. The weekend service should be restored. Another thing I'd like for you to consider is to redesign the digital displays in the bus kiosks to have more lines and double the speed. Of course, funding has to be, has to come, but these currently just have 2 lines, and they move very slowly for the people who need to rely upon them to find out their next bus status. Additionally, at DuPont Circle, there are presently several out-of-town buses that actually block the entrance into the circle. And also the lights need to be recalibrated. If that could be worked on between WMATA and DDOT, I think the traffic flow would be substantially increased, especially for the buses that go through the circle as well as the traffic. Thank you very much. Thanks for listening.
All right, thanks, Steve. Mr. Bulger's on the line, so I'm sure he can take that.
Got it.
At the district.
I got it.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Thanks very much.
Okay. Just checking here just to make sure. Eleanor, do we have any other callers? Okay. We do not have any other callers at this time. So I want to thank you. I'm told there are no other speakers in the queue. I'm going to give one last call for testimony. If you haven't already spoken and you would like to do so, please press *3 on your phone to be put in the speaker's queue. We'll wait 30 seconds here. And while we're waiting, on behalf of Mr. Bulger and myself, I want to thank everyone for participating here today, whether they spoke or simply listened. It's very much appreciated. We do take these comments, like we said earlier, very seriously. So I appreciate your time very much. Okay, it looks like we have another caller. Caller 3633, welcome. Caller 3633. Okay, Eleanor, I know we have a few others that joined. Who's up next after that? Okay, caller 4201. Are you with us? Caller 4201. Okay, next in the queue, Eleanor.
Hello.
Hi. Who is this?
Hi, my name. Hello, can you hear me?
I can, or we can.
Oh, my name is Patricia Morris. I live in North Bethesda, Maryland, at the Stony Brook Townhouse Complex on Tuckerman and Rockville Pike. Our townhouse complex has about 125 houses. We're bordering the Parkside apartment complex, which I don't know how many apartments, but it's a huge sort of garden apartment complex, all within 5 to 10 minutes walking distance of the Grosvenor Metro Station. There are at least 5 other apartment complexes within 10 to 15-minute walk of the Metro Station. Our station is proposed to be closed for during this fiscal year, which I thought begins on July 21st, 2021. I don't know if I'm confused on that. I hear some people saying that these changes are going to take place in January. I thought I read on your site that it was starting this July. The ridership at Grosvenor Metro is higher than at least 15 stations on the which are not being proposed to be closed. As I said, because of all the walking traffic, and we have the huge parking lot. Also, the Strathmore Music Center is here, a 5-minute walk from the Grosvenor Metro Center. And as the pandemic winds down and there are more concerts, I'm sure that kind of metro ridership is also going to be increasing to come back to concerts here at the Strathmore Music Center. So I'm very concerned about this, and I know that many of my neighbors are also extremely concerned about this closure of our metro station, which is a very important one on the Red Line. And it was already closed for a few months early in the pandemic, and that affected people greatly. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Morris. Appreciate your comments. Eleanor, is there anyone else in the queue?
This is Phil Posner from Arlington, Virginia.
Excuse me, sir.
Good
Could
morning.
you, sir, before you begin, could you state your name again, please?
Yes, Philip Posner from Arlington, Virginia.
Oh, hey, Phil.
Hey, good morning. I tried to get in earlier, but they muted me.
Aha.
Anyway, good morning, and wanted to thank you for maintaining the Metro Access Service area and the time during the current budget, and hope that you're going to be able to continue that policy through the 2022 budget. I know that the draconian budget, like the one for 2021, is based on a worst-case scenario for ridership and federal funding, and I hope that it will not be necessary to implement based upon the current progress for transit funding in Congress and COVID vaccinations. If service reductions do become essential, I hope that safety and smart use of WMATA and jurisdictional bus and rail service redundancies will guide decisions so that transportation deserts will be avoided. There's also the hope that WMATA and the jurisdictions will find support from partners in the private and government sectors to help transport their essential workers and patients through potential WMATA service reductions.
Hey, Phil, could I have you stop? Phil, could I just have you stop for 1 second? There's someone on the line.
Sure.
Put yourself on mute, please. Okay, Phil, go ahead. I'm sorry about that. Apologize.
Oh, not to worry. I don't know where you stopped hearing, but basically it was to ask you to support from partners in the private and government sectors to help transport essential workers and patients during potential WMATA service reductions. And then finally, just to please continue the essential work that you're doing and funding for safety and accessibility projects such as the wayfinding project, the lighting project, and usable benches. And thank you so much for your time.
Yeah. Hey, Phil. Hey, Phil.
Yeah.
What are the last 4 digits of your phone number? I just want to make sure I'm capturing everyone. You know?
5911. I was the first in the queue, which didn't speak up because I was muted.
Oh, okay.
Notice of public hearing on mouse over.
Right, and we're getting feedback from a interpretation machine. If we could, if staff could look at that and quiet that. Okay. Next, Eleanor, who's next in the queue? Okay, caller 4201.
Yes. Hello, everyone. My name is Corietta Thompson, and I'm calling to urge the WMATA board to ensure that Metro still has enough funding to ensure that all the buses, the trains, and the Metro Access is still running. I'm a member of the National Federation of the Blind, and I'm representing the blind organization because I, too, myself is blind. And I just think it's very crucial that we have all the services working and on time, because a lot of us live by ourselves and have multiple disabilities, and that's our main form of transportation. So that would really hurt a lot of populations who are disabled, who are elderly, and just people in general that need to take the bus, the train, to doctors, to work, to friends, to family, wherever they need to go. That's what they use is public transportation. I'm just urging the board to keep in consideration of some of the special needs populations to ensure that they still have their form of transportation to still keep their independence. You know, the less riders, the less that the more that's going to hurt the budget, I think. So I'm just urging everyone to just keep in consideration some of the special needs populations and keeping the services running.
Absolutely. All right. Thank you, Ms. Thompson. Appreciate those comments. Eleanor.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Eleanor, do we have other speakers? Okay, we'll go back to speaker 3633. Are you with us? Again, the last 4 digits of your phone numbers, 3633. Okay, Eleanor, any others in the queue? Okay, we'll give it just another 20 seconds here if anyone would like to make some comments. Again, push *3 on your phone.
Hello.
Okay, yes, how are you? Is this 0012?
My name is Jake Stockman. I'm calling from the District of Columbia. The particular aspect of the plan that I find to be most objectionable is the service cuts after 9 p.m. This is something that is going to disproportionately hurt workers in the city's restaurants and hospitality sectors. These are some of the sectors that have been hardest hit by the pandemic in the first place. And these people, in many cases, don't have the flexibility to change their shifts to different times. They also tend to be lower income and disproportionately young people, people of color. And it's important that these people's needs are continued to be met. By cutting the transit hours down to 9 p.m., it would effectively make anyone who's working dinner shifts unable to access the network. And another thing that worries me about that is that there could be an increase in drunk driving and more cars on the road when visibility is poor at night, creating unsafe conditions for pedestrians and other motorists. Thank you for your time.
Mr. Stockman, are you speaking on your own behalf? Or are you with the organization? Okay. Eleanor, do we have another speaker? Okay. Speaker 0634, welcome. Okay. Person dropped. Again, we'll give it another 10 seconds.
Hi, my name is Jessica Ford. I'm a Metro Access customer who uses regular Metro bus and Metro Rail to get to my doctor's appointments and basically anywhere else I need to go because Metro Access is so unreliable and costs so much more with being on a limited budget. And the W14 is the only bus in my neighborhood. And if that gets taken away, I have no way of getting to Metro at all. And no way of getting to my doctor's appointments, no way of getting to any volunteering I'm doing, nothing. And if you take the bus away, they will also end up cutting Metro Access because you have to be within 3/4 of a mile of a Metro bus station or stop with the way Metro Access is currently to have Metro Access service. And I'm not just talking for myself personally, but other Metro Access customers I'm sure are in the same position with the other bus routes that are being looked at to being cut. And I really need to be able to get to my doctor's appointments and everything. I mean, and eventually, once I get my vaccine shot, I will start using Metro again. I mean, because Metro is my #1 form of transportation. Yes, I have a few backups, but not many. So and the 7H that's in Virginia is one of the buses, or 7M, whichever one it is that you're all looking at cut, is one of the ones to get to one of my doctors. So I would really appreciate it if you would not cut the buses. I mean, I understand you have financial reasons and everything, but the impact to the disabled community and regular commuters that use Metro to get to work all the time are going to be significantly impacted if that happens, which is only going to decrease ridership on Metro, which is only going to make your financial situation worse. So if you could please not take away the service, I would truly appreciate it. I mean, speaking for myself, as, like I said, a Metro Access customer, but I also use Metro Bus and Metro Rail to get a ton of places.
Okay. Thank you, Ms. Ford. Appreciate that very much. And that was our last speaker. The hearing is now concluded. Testimony, again, can be submitted online or via US mail as long as it is received by, to Metro by 5 p.m. on Monday, March 16th. Again, I want to thank everyone for joining us this morning and taking the time to provide your testimony and comments. Thank you very much.